Hey guys, welcome to the Something About Tuesdays podcast. I'm your host, Phebe Joi. Join me every other Tuesday for a lighthearted podcast to keep you company while you do your thing. Hey guys, welcome back to Something About Tuesdays, episode 85. I'm your host, Phebe Joi, and hi. Hey and welcome. Hey everyone. Look, you guys, I am coming back from quite the weekend. It was fun. It was a planned weekend. We had a girls trip this past weekend, so I cannot wait to share that with you. But the last couple of weeks, you guys, I was like, when I'm out of school, who knows what my life's going to be? Who knows what I'm going to do? I think I've been more busy the last couple weeks than than I have during school. Anyways, you guys, and we'll get into all that. But hi, welcome. I hope your last couple weeks have been amazing. Mine have been pretty good. I've got just some fun, I think, summer things to share with you guys. It's not even officially summer yet, and yet it is. I think for me, summer starts June 1st. Boom. Like that's summer. Or it starts just whenever, whenever I'm done with school. Definitely that's part of my summer. But anyways, hey guys, happy summer, even if we're not officially in summer. Let's jump right in. To start with, okay. So I think when I last left off, I think I recorded I had just ended that school that week. It was like the kids week and then it was the teacher week after that. And then what was coming up was we had ladies prayer coming up that Monday and I had a massage scheduled for that Tuesday. So that Monday, I was able to lead ladies' prayer. And so at our church, we have ladies' prayer once a month, and our pastor's wife has different ladies speak. And so mine just happened to be June. Now, that being said, technically, I did not have June. I had July. You guys, get this. So I'm preparing this whole month. I'm not the month of June, but May going into June. And I'm like, okay, I got to get something ready. I don't know at what point in my mind I came up with I speak in June. I'm telling you, for like the last several months, I just knew I spoke in June. Thank God. I text my pastor's wife. There was a book recommendation I wanted to give, The Busy Woman's Guide to Soul Winning. And I texted her first to make sure it was okay to share it with the ladies. And she was like, yeah, no problem. But I don't think you have June. I think you have July. I was like, what? So I double checked the schedule that was sent out at the very beginning of the year. And I did not have June. I had July. And I was like, oh no. I said, you're absolutely right. I do have June. And she's like, well, hold on. Let me double check with the lady who has June, see how she feels, and, maybe she'll switch with you. Luckily, the lady who had June said, oh, no problem at all. Actually, this works out great. I would love to go ahead and switch with you. Take July and you take June. I was like, okay, good. Because y'all, you know how you prepare for something, like you mentally prepare, mentally, physically, spiritually, you're like, I'm ready for this. And then if it's postponed, you're like, no, right? That was how I was feeling. I was like, no, surely not, because I was like, if I have to sit on this for another month, then my nerves will just come back. And then you have that pressure of like, okay, now you got to really make it good because you have a whole nother month to prepare. And so I was like, thank you, Lord, for letting me just go ahead in June. And so I was able to speak in June and I talked about connecting with others and how important it is. If you are a believer of any kind, if you call yourself a Christian, then our number one thing should be connecting with other people who are not Christian, who are not followers of Christ, and trying to get them to that point, right? And I know that there may be people who listen to this podcast who are not, um, but I have to say, I mean, you got to have a relationship with Jesus, you guys, because I mean, there's heaven and there's hell, and I want everybody to go to heaven. But anywho, this isn't a podcast to try to convince anyone to do one thing or another. But I definitely think that that one-on-one evangelism is the way to go as far as for at least for me at the moment. Like if you have a platform of like a million people, then yeah, maybe you do want to share your faith there because that might reach people. But at this point, there's just something about the actual connecting, and I think I mentioned that too, like the difference between social media connecting and actually connecting with people. Like I can share my testimony via a podcast, which is amazing, but it's even better when it's one-on-one with somebody, right? Because then you can engage with them, you can ask questions, they can ask you questions. There's just so much more to it. I think sometimes as Christian people, and if you're not a Christian person, feel free to skip past this part. For I don't know, it's going to be like 3 minutes or something. But sometimes as Christian people, we kind of like will share what we believe out on some big platform like Facebook or something like that, and we think that's good enough. And it's like, and so we don't share it like face to face or something. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of, I don't want to say the easy way out, but I want to say we lean against that too much almost, um it's like, hey, I put it out there, and if somebody's interested, they'll approach me. And I don't think that should necessarily be our only approach, right? I don't think that should be our end all be all. It's just to throw it out there and hope somebody catches it. And sometimes we can feel good, like, oh, I made this super spiritual post, and that's my good deed for the day. But there's so much more to connecting face to face. Anyway, God's been working with me on that, if y'all haven't noticed. And I plan to um, continue to keep working with the Lord on connecting with people face to face. But anywho, so that was Monday, right? It was ladies' prayer. Of course, while I'm speaking, like Fee is like screaming her head off. She wasn't screaming, but she was like, blah, blah, how babies do. And my mom had to, I think, take her out, maybe give her some food. I'm not sure what mom did. All I know is I heard her, and then eventually I didn't, which was nice. Not saying I didn't want her to hear her, but as far as for like focusing and trying to get across what I wanted to say. But anyway, but I thought that went well. And then Tuesday comes around, right? So I mean, already, we were starting off the summer hot, like bam, feeling good, getting a little thought out there, hopefully getting people on the same page, and let's all, win souls together and everything. And then next day I got a massage scheduled. I'm like, all right, let's go. Let me get this massage. And y'all, the massage felt great. But this, y'all, the massage lady, I go to her all the time. She's who I go to. She knows, my story and everything. She gave me this great massage. And she was like, you're really tight, in your shoulder and in your neck area. And normally she just massages me, works out the kinks, all the things. Y'all, why? When the massage is done, literally after it's done, she's like, you know what? I think you need to start. She said, get you some light weights. And she starts like showing the lift and arm weights movement. And she was like, I think you need to start lifting some weights. I was like, what? Look, I know my upper body strength has much to be desired, but why is my massage lady of all people telling me you need to start lifting some weights? She's probably like, girl, I'm tired of working this kink out of your neck for you not doing nothing. But I was like, what? She just told me start lifting weights. I was like, oh, okay. Now I feel like I have to lift some weights before I go to my next massage. Anywho, so that was fun to hear. But I do want to start lifting weights. I mean, by lifting weights, literally my 3 pounds. I have 3 pound weights and they're perfect for the things that I do, right? Like I don't need much more than that. Maybe one day I'll go up to 5. I remember when I was going to the gym a little more consistently. And y'all I think I might have mentioned on the podcast back then that I one time used 8 pound weights. I mean, y'all, that's when I was getting it. Now, nah, yeah, back to the 3, if not any weights, like, right? Just plain old arm resistance. But anywho, so I do want to start lifting some weights, y'all. Since we're on it, and by on it, I mean like on to trying to be physically better. I've got to do better. I've got to do better. I will do better. My 90-day, 120-day, we're going to just scrap that for the moment. We're going to, we're not going to scrap it. We're going to put it to the side and come back to it. Okay. Yeah. And that's it. That's all I want to say on that is one day you'll hear me say, you guys, I finished the 90-day devotional. Doesn't matter that it ended up being a 9-year devotional. No, y'all, I think last time I mentioned I like to read different devotionals and at different times. And so it's hard to stay on one book for y'all, even just 90 days. I did good for my 30. I think I did good for my month. And then I was like, okay, I want to read something different. I want to read a different author, a different perspective. So anywho, and y'all, I'm still working on trying to lose weight though. I haven't done anything to lose a pound in the last at least 30 days. This last month, no. But again, I will soon. I will at some point. But y'all, definitely not this week, and I will tell you why later. But the other thing is, I have 2 random moments, and I don't know what brought this out. Like, I don't know what I thought about, what I saw. You know, how you can just see something and it triggers just a thought from back in the day, like it triggers a memory or a thought. I don't know what I saw. Honestly, I can't even think about it. But what I have written down is jump rope for heart. And I was like, does anybody remember jump rope for heart? That was such a thing back in elementary school where they would come and do jump rope demonstrations, like do all kinds of fun little jump rope things. And then you would like sign something as a kid being like, I'm going to jump rope for heart. Like you would jump. I think it was like a fundraiser of some kind, but it was so big. Like they wanted everybody jump roping because it would help them be healthy. I don't know whose initiative that was. Like looking back, I'm like, whose initiative was that to try to battle obesity in America or something, right? Childhood obesity or something. But they were all, I remember Jump Rope for Heart. I remember all those programs that would come by the school. And I'm like, are there even programs like that anymore? Like, is that a government thing? Is that a federal program that we did or something like that? And do they exist anymore? You guys remember Dare? Um, just say no. Do y'all remember that? Remember Stop, Drop, and Roll? Like, I feel like, and I'm a teacher, I don't see those programs in our schools anymore. I think the programs that we need to start sharing now are some mental health ones that they come around and they teach kids about how to deal with how to cope with things. Like there should be a coping mechanism program. Look, you guys, I need to start an initiative. I need to become like the first lady of something and start like mental health coping strategies, even something simple that you can teach all the kids in all the schools because my goodness, they totally need it. Anyway, so I thought about that. And then because I was thinking about stuff back in the day, I started thinking about, and I knew it was something I saw, I think on Instagram that triggered it, water gun fights around the neighborhood. And I'm like, man, obviously I don't know when my last water gun fight was, but I do remember how much fun they would be. And I remember how you would start it with the little gun. And then I remember how they came out with the super soakers and the mega super soakers. And just, I mean, I am like, I almost want to schedule like a water gun fight. And I don't even have a neighborhood. Like I've got neighbors and it's just going to be the people, my neighbors. And my neighbors to one side of me are a little older. Now the other side of me, they're the same age as my husband. So I don't know if they'd get a kick out of it, but we might need to do some neighborhood water gun fight. Like, and I don't know if mom has it. She lives in like a nice subdivision. I don't know if she's ever seen the kids um go around with water guns, but somebody needs to start something because it would start with like just one kid or like a couple of kids who were like playing, and then other neighborhood kids would join, and then like it was just everybody, and it was so much fun. And people you didn't even know, you were just spritzing with the water and soaking them, and it was a dangerous grounds, but it was so much fun. So I hope kids are out there still doing water gun fights. If not, you guys, if you have kids at the age, so elementary age, where they can do water gun fights, start one, introduce it. It's so much fun. I'm assuming they still sell water guns in stores. Y'all, if they're selling these jelly shoes, I remember I had jelly shoes back in the day. If they're still selling these jelly shoes, bring them back around, then they need to bring back around some water guns, okay? And like as an adult, I want to have an adult water gun fight. I just think it'll be fun. Maybe I can do like a bring back the 90s themed party and plan for a water gun fight, make sure everybody wears their jellies, plan for, I don't know, Capri Suns. Like, I don't even know, like Lunchables. Like, we've got to have, I think I need to plan one of those parties and invite some people because that might have to be a thing. But anywho, you guys, so that was my back in the day. Those were like my random thoughts. But one more thing that I have to share with you guys that I don't know if y'all have run into this. And I'm pretty sure I've talked about before how I do not like how they being literally every company out there wants us to be on this subscription model. I mean, I get that it's profitable for them, because they get money every month versus one time and then, it belongs to the person. But I just don't like how nothing belongs to you anymore. And I have an example of that as on my computer, on my OneDrive. I like never use my OneDrive, but apparently I do. Well, I had a Microsoft subscription that I like literally never used. So I decided to cancel it. So my subscription, my storage went from like 1 terabyte or something or 200 megabytes, I don't know, gigabytes. One of the, it was like, went from, you had 500 available gigabytes or whatever, and now you're back, you're down to 5. What? Because I decided to stop paying the subscription. So, but everything is still in there, right? So they're like, you're over and you need to delete it and nothing else will be uploaded. And I mean, I guess it doesn't go away because it isn't deleted, but I just keep getting the notification that you're over and nothing new will be on there. So maybe it's mine because I paid for it at some point, but I can't add anything new. I don't know how it works. All I know is I was like, if I paid for it, just give it to me. If I paid for 500 gigabytes worth of space, just give it to me. I don't want to have to pay for it the rest of my life, right? Like, come on. Anyway, and so then I was silly and I was like, let me clear it up because I'll just keep it on my desktop because my desktop has quite a bit of space on it. So I deleted it from my OneDrive. But apparently when I deleted it from my OneDrive, it also deleted it from my desktop. And I was like, what is this? What is this? So I had to re-download stuff. It was crazy. Point is, I do not like some of these subscription services. Kind of like even with, like we've got Apple Music and we pay for it. But if we ever decide to stop, does that mean like all my playlists just go away? All my carefully cultivated playlist and things that I want to listen to just gone. Like that's crazy to think that I can put money in this literally every month and it's not going for anything. It's not even like renting to own. At least let me rent to own. No, it's like you're renting just to have and then it's not yours at all. Like if then you're done, and I'm like, what is this? And I cannot wait for it to stop and I hope it stops. But I feel like because it does make so much money that people are just that companies are just going to continue to do it, just do the subscription based model, and it's terrible. I mean, that's I have CDs from when I was a kid because I have those CDs. I paid for them once and they're mine, and now I just have to. It just got under my skin this past week, especially since I'm lost my space and therefore could lose some files, etc. Annoyed, but I guess it is what it is. Hopefully it changes. But anyway, okay. So you guys know these past couple weeks have been my first couple weeks out of school. My idea of what I want to do on this time off is just relax and do nothing, right? Like this is great. I'm out of school. Hubs is off work and we're just going to chill. Okay. Now, my mom, she keeps fee every like once a week. It depends on the day, usually on Tuesdays, but it honestly depends. And so when mom had fee, it was actually on a Thursday this time around. I was like, okay, great. This would be my time off without fee. I can do what I want. I can lounge around the house. I can read books. I can play games. I can watch YouTube. I can scroll Insta. Like, I can just do whatever. Okay. My husband now, on the other hand, had different plans. So this is that whole communication thing, which he told me. He did tell me that week. He's like, okay, when Fee's not here, that's our time to get house stuff done. And I'm like, oh, my brain was thinking when Fee's not here, that's the time to relax, right? Our two different personalities coming out. And he's like, we got to seal the deck. He power washed up the deck and the furniture. And he's like, we got to seal that deck. We've got things to do. Y'all. Oh, so Hubs, he's got projects scheduled for these days off. I, on the other hand, was like, I just want to do nothing. But he did make a good argument. He's like, it's supposed to be sunny and this week, and then next week it's supposed to rain, and I really want to get this done, and blah, da, 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 da. Those things that those responsible people who like to get stuff done first before they play say. Yeah, he said that. So I was like, okay, fine. So fees, with mom, Hebs and I'm like, okay, whatever your project is, let's go. So it was power washing and sealing the deck. Now I thought I might like power washing. So I said, Hebs, I want to power wash the furniture. And he's like, have at it. Y'all, I had at it. Okay, first off, it's as fun as it sounds, or at least furniture. I don't know if I had to power wash a house or anything, but those satisfying videos that you always see on like YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or something, the reels of people cleaning stuff or whatever, except this is the real life version. You guys, I had fun power washing my furniture and I learned all kinds of things about power washing. For example, I learned that you don't want to go get too close to whatever it is you're power washing because A, if you're power washing some furniture and you get really close to the seams, then they will start to tear and frazzle. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but they'll start to tear a little bit. Okay. So don't get too close. How do I know that? From experience. Then also don't get too close to your seemingly like wood plastic furniture because when you get really close you realize that the wood paint kind of comes off, right? And so while it's like metal under there, you might end up getting some of your paint off. So don't get too close to whatever it is you're power washing. Second thing I learned, when you power wash, and Hubs taught me this, do like a pattern, like go back and forth or up and down, to make sure you get it right, like especially if you're trying to get dirt and grime off, because otherwise I power washed the table and you can totally see where it was like straight line, straight line, straight line, went a little crooked, got a little zaggy, like really clean, got a random little streak of dirt, like, yeah. So try to do some nice, concise lines when you're power washing. Don't get too close, but don't go too far. Um, I would also say be careful when you are spraying a bug. In my brain, I said, ooh, I don't have to be scared of bugs because if a bug comes at me, I'm going to spray him with the water. The one thing you don't think about is if the bug is near like your face, as it sometimes fly. And so you think you're going to spray the water. No, I did not spray my face, but I did bring the water up really fast and was like, oh, I'm going to get it. And I like swung my arm around and sprayed, still got myself, got the furniture and got in the air. I don't even know if it hit the insect or not. But when you do that, it's not just, like you're spraying some bug spray that it just reaches like 2 feet. When you've got your power washer, whatever water you have is going pretty far and it's going to hit everything in its path. And that happened. So be careful when spraying a bug. I'm not saying don't spray bugs, but don't fling your arms around when you see a bug because it will also fling the water around if you can picture that. And then so those are the things I've learned. Now the things that I felt. First off, on a hot summer day, the sprinkle backsplash of the water from the power spray, the power washing, feels nice. It does feel good to have those little sprinkles of water. The other thing is, while I was holding it, at least ours, it's like this. It's a hose, but like you got to push the trigger down or the button. And not gonna lie, I said, I feel like I have a machine gun, right? And I was like, and I kind of held it like I had one. I held it with two hands and I was like spraying back and forth. And yeah, you guys know the reference, right? I've never seen the movie, but I did know at least to like hold it with two hands was like going back and forth. It was like going back and forth. And I said, this feels like a machine gun. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt kind of cool. Now, do I think people need to have machine guns and stuff like that? No, especially not if you're going to hurt anybody. Military, yes. But just for fun, I don't know about all that. But it did feel kind of fun. If you want the vibe of a machine gun, just get you this really cool power washer and then do something productive with it. So that felt fun. And then the other thing was, after holding it with my right arm for a while, it did start to hurt. Like I was like, this is heavy. Like it is power washing something because, my goodness, this hurts. But I just switched to my left hand and y'all, I felt good to go again. I was got my second wind. I was like, oh, I can do this. So yes, power washing, it does work your hands a little bit, but that's okay. It's why you got two hands. But no, really, it was pretty fun to power wash when it's something like furniture. Now, like I said, if I had to power wash like a whole house or something or like a deck, that may not be near as fun, probably a little bit more work. But as far as power washing furniture, that part was fun. Well, anyway, so I was able to power wash. I did know not to put my hand on the power wash because I'm thinking if this stream is enough to take the paint off my table or to, you know, razzle frazzle my the seams of my furniture, then I know better than to put my hand on it, right? So I did not do that. So after the power washing, husband has started to seal the deck. And he was like, "Hey, can you help?" And I was like, "Of course." So then my job was to help him seal the deck. And it's a greasy experience. I probably should have worn gloves because I got it everywhere. Um, and I will say, so after sealing the deck, I told husband, I was like, you know what? Because there was a couple of times I felt like I needed to go wash my hands, and I didn't do it in the sink because I was like, I don't think sealing stuff should go down the sink. But I got the water hose and I would spray my hands. But afterward, like my nails were really smooth, not shiny, but just smooth and felt good. And I was like, like there's something to this seal. You're probably like, Phoebe, that's not good. But there was something to it. And I was like, you know what? Sealing the deck is like putting nail polish on. Like you're covering it, you're coating it with with like a gel, a seal, right, to protect it. And I was like, huh. I was like, I wonder why my nails feel good. This is like a nail polish, but for wood, right? With and we do ours. I don't think we had it tinted any because I liked our natural wood color. Um, but yeah, like I was like, that totally is like nail polish. So sealing your deck is like adding nail polish to it just to protect it, add a little covering so that it doesn't get damaged. But anyway, so I thought about that. And then while I was sealing the deck, I felt pretty decent doing it. There was one time where I did feel a little bad, and that's because I saw this trail of ants going up and down the pole. And I was like, I really need to seal the pole. I was like, Habs, there's some ants crawling. And he was like, okay. And I was like, I just cover them? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay. And so you guys, I covered the ants and the seal. I felt bad. I was like, oh no, I'm covering them right up. But they were, I didn't know what else to do. They were on, like, I don't know. I was like, sorry. Now there wasn't a ton of them, but there were enough. Like I said, they were going up and down, but they were sealed in now. Sorry to the ants, but they were sealed in now. But we did manage to seal the whole deck. I felt very accomplished. Now, I am not an outdoorsy person by any means. Don't enjoy outdoor work, wouldn't enjoy gardening, like all of that stuff. But I gotta admit, it was kind of nice to do those things with the hubs, like just to bond a little bit, get a little sweaty, all the things that working outside does. And I think he enjoyed it, working with me as well. But yeah, so that was our project. That's what we ended up doing. I did not get to relax. After that, we did go pick up my baby girl. But yeah, that was, hey, sometimes I guess you got to do your summer projects, your outdoor projects. And Hubs was like, he was appreciative of the help. And I was like, of course, of course. But anywho, so now with y'all, okay. The other day, or I think the last episode I mentioned, I had made some chicken curry, which actually ended up being pretty good. So of course, me being like, look at me being the chef. I love Indian food. I said, I'm gonna make me some tikka masala or butter chicken. And I was like, I don't know, let me just do butter chicken. So I made some butter chicken from in the crock pot. And let me just say, it did not taste like butter chicken. I think I got a big head when I made the chicken curry and it was successful. That when I went to go make the butter chicken, I was like, this is gonna be good. I used all the y'all, it smelled like Indian food. I smelled the curry, I smelled the masala, I smelled the turmeric. I don't know if you can smell those things, but all the spices put together. The paprika, all the things, and it smelled great. But then when I went to taste it, I was like, this doesn't taste like Indian food. It didn't taste bad. It tasted fine. It was creamy. Maybe I put too much heavy whipping cream. Maybe I should have been a little lighter on that. But anyway, and I was like, this isn't exactly what I'm looking for. Honestly, the butter chicken, I've never been a butter chicken person. I've been a tikka masala person, knowing that they're very similar. But ever since I had the butter chicken on the Delta flight when we went to the UK, I was like, that's a good flavor. It was so good. I don't know why or how they made it, but it was so good to me that I've been like ordering butter chicken here and there. And I was like, man, I can make it. And I made it and it did not taste like the butter chicken from Delta. Now, my husband said he enjoyed it. I added I made, of course, my version, which was not too spicy. And then I added some additional spices for his to make it more spicy. Like, I think it was some red chili peppers maybe, and some cayenne and all that stuff. And he said his tasted great. He said it tasted like chicken vindaloo, and not necessarily butter chicken, but he definitely loves his vindaloo. So to him, it tasted good. So at least, okay, it had a hint of Indian tasting. I do plan to try it again and hopefully get a little bit better. But I did try my hand at that. Now, speaking of food, y'all, last weekend, we did get to go to our friend's house. He had like a crab cookout, and not just crab, it was like crab, seafood, but also like chicken sausage, kind of like a Creole boil or something. Like the seafood was in one spot, but there was also like barbecue chicken and ribs and stuff in another spot. So it wasn't like all together and it wasn't all seafood, but it was really good. But he invited us to that, and I was very excited to go. But y'all, right before, like literally, I think it was either the day of or the day before. I was just so sick in my stomach. I was like, oh my goodness, I either have a stomach bug or I ate something absolutely terrible. And so in my brain, I was thinking it was probably a stomach bug because my husband had the same thing the day before, and our tummies were just killing us, and it was awful. Um, but then I was like, it might be a stomach bug, or it might be the moldy Mexican cornbread that I ate a couple days before. You're like, maybe. You guys. So my husband had made Mexican cornbread, I don't know exactly, a few days, maybe a week before. And so right before this lovely crab boil, I'm eating, he had made some bean soup, which was really good, and I think he had the Mexican cornbread from before. So I was like, Mexican cornbread with the bean soup should taste pretty good. Well, I got the cornbread and I heated it up, and I noticed that like the top of the cornbread was really moist. And I was thinking, okay, maybe it was from butter or something, even though I know my husband doesn't butter anything. So I was like, I don't know what my brain was thinking. But I noticed it was moist even after putting it in the microwave. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. I'm sure. Again, it's probably just buttery. So I took a couple bites, and y'all, it tasted moldy. But I was like, maybe it's just the spices because it's Mexican cornbread, right? So there's like different flecks of stuff in there. And I was like, I'm sure it's just the spices. Maybe it's just my taste buds. You guys, I ate like, I don't know, 5, 6 bites of the thing. And finally I was like, you know what? I think this might just be moldy. Like, I don't see mold, but I feel like I'm tasting the mold. Like, I feel like I'm eating something moldy. And so I did stop. Well, my husband, he ate the whole piece. So I'm thinking that maybe that stomach bug we had might have something to do with the moldy cornbread. And then I was talking to my friend of mine, and she was saying like she had eaten bread before. Was it my friend? Was it Elizabeth or was it my sister? I don't remember. And that the bread was moldy, even though it didn't look moldy, but it tasted moldy. And I was like, okay, so it can, like, food can taste moldy without it looking like it actually has mold on it. Because I was like, I did look, and it didn't really seem like it had mold on it. But maybe the moisturized bread, along with the flavor of it, probably wasn't. Probably was a sign that I should have paid attention to, but didn't, and therefore got a tummy ache for like a few days. But anywho, you all, that's neither here nor there. Just something that happened. Now, like, so part of enjoying spring and summer and fall and all the months where you can be outside and it feels good, on my back deck is sitting on the back deck, of course, and just enjoying nature. And so I was sitting on the back deck, enjoying nature, just chilling, you know, um, thinking about the Lord, here and there. It wasn't necessarily my dedicated prayer time, but when you have quiet moments, God crosses your mind sometimes, or at least He does mine. And and so then I start listening to the song "Word of God Speak," which is an oldie but a goodie. I know I've mentioned on the podcast before. It's a music segment, probably been a year or so ago. But "Word of God Speak," I mean, it's just a good one. Um, Word of God speak, would you pour down like rain, washing my eyes to see your majesty? And then the part that I like, to be still and know, like just that, to be still and know. And of course, the rest of it, that you're in this place. Please let me stay and rest. I'm trying to think of the words. In your holiness, word of God speak. Would you pour down like rain? I mean, it gets intense. Not that intense, but it's still really good. Um, I like the lyrics of that song, but just sitting there when I was just sitting in nature, protected though because I got a screen. Um, And then just to be still and know that you're in this place. I was like, you are here, God. You are so here right now. And it feels good to be still and know that you're in this place. Um, yeah, and I just want to be in your presence. And so I'm having this fantastic moment with the Lord. And then, of course, the cat runs. He gets the zoomies outside and he's like, I was like, okay, well, the be still and know moment was there and gone. The be still moment was there and gone. The still knowing that God was there remained. But the cat did kind of like throw off. You know how you have these these cool, peaceful moments, and then something like I don't know, your kid will start crying or something will happen. And you're like, okay, back to reality. Um, but that was nice. So if you have a moment, I have to throw it out there. I think the song is like 3.5 minutes long or something. Look up the song by Mercy Me. It's an oldie, I think 90s, maybe early 2000s. Listen to Word of God speak while you're outside in nature, preferably maybe right around dusk, because that's when it was, and it'll hit you. You'll be like, oh yeah, yeah, all right, God, you're with me. I'm not alone in this world. You're with me right at this moment, and it feels good. um, so fantastic moment there. And that's I'm like, y'all, that's what summers are about. The summer, spring, all that stuff. That's what it's all about. Now, okay, so that was that kind of first week off, into like this past week. And now we're getting into this weekend. All right, y'all. This past weekend, I've been planning with my mom, sister, and Fee for a girls' trip. And we weren't going far. We're just going to a neighboring city about like 2 hours away. But I was like, I want to go somewhere. I want to do something. I want to kickstart summer. And so I planned this trip and I created a whole, because I've seen how people make PowerPoints and stuff about their trip. Y'all, I did that. I made Google Slides, and I made a Google slide about our trip, and I sent it to my mom and sister. It was like, this is what we have to look forward to. And really, we were able to do a lot of the stuff on the list. I think only a couple things we didn't do. One thing we didn't do because I wasn't sure about the weather. It was possibly going to rain, so we decided to do an indoor thing instead. But and then one restaurant we didn't get to do that I wanted to hit up. But I think pretty much almost everything else we were able to do. And it ended up being a blast. Fee did so good. Like I said, it was about 2 hours away. And she pretty much slept both ways, like all the way up there, she was asleep, and all the way back, she was asleep. So shout out to her. And she did good. I mean, we had some long days, where we didn't get back to the Airbnb until, after like getting out around 10 or 11, and then not getting it back until, 6 or something, 5, 6, 7 o'clock even. And she just did so well. So proud of her. Now, she definitely had her moments where she was like, and she did cry, do some um, very intense crying when it was time to go to bed, I think from being overtired. But other than that, she did phenomenal. So my few thoughts from that is we stayed at an Airbnb. I wanted to stay at one because with Fee, this is my first time traveling with her. And I was like, I don't want to do a hotel room because I don't know if she's going to cry a lot and wake up people all around me. I don't know how I'm going to do formula with like bottles and sterilizing bottles and boiling water, because yes, I still do all of that stuff. This is my first baby. You can be like, you're not going to do that for your second. Maybe, maybe not, but I'm doing it for my first. And so I was like, I would rather just stay like in a house, in a place. And so we did. And while I was there, I I I was looking at their utensils, and the hostess had gold utensils, like just gold colored utensils. And I was like, I like that. I was like, we can move away from just plain silverware, right? Silver utensils. We don't have to have it. I mean, I'm assuming they do it because it's sturdy, it's good, it's metal, it's whatever. But like Hubs and I, we've got black forks, like black utensils, and we like it. Like one day we were just like, why not? Like they have them. Let's get them. And we did. And we love them. We're like, they're our favorite ones to use. And so she had gold ones and I really liked them. I was like, those are cute. Like if there is a theme to your kitchen, shake things up and get different color utensils. And like it's just a quick thing to make you feel just kind of just a little more bougie, right? Yeah, just shake it up, get you something, get you some rose gold. I don't know all the colors that they have them come in, but I think my sister has some rose gold, and like I said, I saw the lady, she had gold. We've got black. I mean, it doesn't have to be silver. If you have a metal, yeah, it's a metal utensil. So I thought that was pretty fun. The Airbnb we stayed in was cute. Um, it's just a little mini house, and it was so nice. And I'm definitely glad that I stayed in an Airbnb more so than a hotel. But we went to so while we were there, I'm just gonna tell you about the different places we hit up and what I liked about them. The very first place we went was actually called Joseph Beth, maybe booksellers, I think, something like that. And let me just say, it felt like a very nice high-end bookstore. I've known about Barnes and Noble, which I think is a pretty classy bookstore as well, and Books a Million and things. But I we don't have it, I don't think, at Joseph Booksellers where I am. And so it was cool to go in there, and it just so imagine, so there's the bookstore, but then there's like a section with like clothes and stuff. Not a lot, but just little like boutique type clothes. Yeah, let's just say. So my sister was like, straight books. And I was like, let's go to the clothes section, mom. And I did go and end up getting this cute camel colored purse. And it's vegan leather, whatever that means. But I did get the cute little purse and like I said, little drawstring clasp purse there, which is crazy because it's a bookstore. And then we walked around and they had the fun kids section. They had the like kids stage for whenever they do, I guess, the kids read alouds or something, or the story theaters or story times or whatever. And so that looked fun. And I didn't go up the stairs just because I had Fee in the stroller, but they did have a whole upstairs, which I always think is way cool when you've got books. They had a couple of cool areas to read. I was like, y'all did this well. So it was fun staying there. And it was in a kind of like a shopping area where I got to go to a Nordstrom Rack, which we have one, but this one just felt cooler because it wasn't nearby. We went to other places. My sister hurt her poor ankle at one. I mean, and hurt it bad. She like scraped the skin off. It was bleeding like crazy. Of course, mom went and bought Fee some clothes at Carter's. I mean, we had a good old time that first day. And then we went to eat. Let me see, what did we eat that night? Ooh, did we go out to eat? I don't know if we went out to eat. I don't know what we ate. What did we eat that first day? Y'all have no idea. I know we went out to eat. I just can't remember what we ate. Did we do Taste of Belgium that day? No, I think we did Taste of Belgium the second day. Oh, we ended up eating, oh, duh. So we ended up eating at the bookstore. They had a bistro, and it looked cute, it looked quaint. I wish I would have taken more pictures. I didn't take near as many pictures. I find that even with my fee, like I'll take pictures of her, but like I didn't take as many pictures of the environment or me with the environment because y'all, yeah, whenever I'm not feeling 100% confident and feeling like I'm looking that great, the pictures of myself definitely decreases. But we did eat at the bistro, and the food was pretty good. I got just a BLTA, because I got the avocado, and it was good. Whatever sauce they had ended up being pretty yummy. So yeah, so that's what we ate there, and did I buy a cookie from there? I might have bought a chocolate chip cookie from there. Let me just say, I'll go ahead and spoil it, y'all. I think I bought 4, maybe 5 cookies, chocolate chip cookies, one double chocolate cookie this weekend. Oh! Anyway, that's why I said we got to get on this weight thing. I got to get better physically, y'all. Of course, lose weight, but also just eating better and doing better. But anyway, so we had the bistro, and then that was like our day. Mom and I, we did a Kroger trip because we're staying at a house. We're like, we need something to snack on, so we got snacks. Now, mom, she got fruit, so all different kinds of fruit. I got a like olive and cheese charcuterie with, some meat on there. And then I got a Caesar salad as well. And then some lemonade that my mom ended up letting me get some, the different syrups. Y'all, if you haven't done it, if you have not done it, get your lemonade, just your regular lemonade, and then get your different little syrups from like what's the tea? The brand Tarani maybe, just the drink syrups, the liquid syrups. Y'all get the strawberry one, pump that thing in there. Whoo, it makes a delicious strawberry lemonade. But there's different flavors if you want blueberry lemonade or cherry lemonade. Okay, watermelon lemonade. Get the syrups. Let that be your thing. You all, speaking of, we'll just pause the girls trip here to say, I also, maybe this will all be part of the same, want to do like a summer themed party. And really, I don't know if I just want it like with my family, immediate family, but I want to do a summer themed party where like the plates are summer themed. Cause you can find like stuff from Dollar General or the dollar store, which is just fun, but you're like, what am I going to do with this, pineapple melon plate, or this bright pink, orange, green, yellow cup, and I'm like, I want to do a summer party with my family and where we do games with just us, but we have a game night because we do enjoy our game night, and just have a summer party with the summer utensils. Like, I think I want to try to do that sometime this summer. I don't know if or when I'll have time. I feel like it's already flying and summer hasn't really even started. But I think I want to try that. And hey, you should too. Get you a little summer theme party. Even if it's just you with your immediate family, like make it fun. Just have a fun night, get some watermelon and just, yeah, have like, we're just gonna do a fun summer party. Go to the dollar store, buy all the stuff cheap, it doesn't gotta be expensive. Decorate a little bit, even get you a little summer decor, and just, yeah, have a fun little summer's night with the family. So anywho, so I do want to try to do that. We'll see if that ends up happening. But um, back to where we were. So we did a quick Kroger run, and while we were on our way, we did pass this house. It was called the Mushroom House that looks straight up like a mushroom, like like not even kidding. You have to Google it, y'all. It was interesting. We were like, what? Like enough that we literally had to Google it and realize, oh, this is a place. This is an attraction that people go to. It is privately owned, so you can't go inside, but it is something that people stop and look at. That's how unique it is. Um, but yeah, so we did that. And then the next day, we went to the Taste of Belgium. That's the one that I was thinking of. And that one I had planned to do because they had crepes. Now, I have to admit, because I made crepes the other day, I think I told you guys about making crepes. Did I tell you guys about how I made some crepes? Did I tell you guys about how I think I did? Did I tell you how I made some crepes? I don't remember if I did or didn't. Y'all, I made some crepes. All you need is 3, 2, 1, 3 eggs, 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of milk, I think. Or no, wait. 3 eggs, 2 cups of, yeah, 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of milk. Those are the three things. And you just mix them together and heat up that skillet, that pan, put them on there, and boom, you got you a crepe, and then you can just put stuff on it. We put Nutella and banana. So anyway, so I made those the other day. Yum yum. And so I went to the Taste of Belgium, and I did get a crepe there, and it was delicious. I got the banana Nutella. I was like, but man, this tastes just like mine. So that ended up being pretty good. It was good, but I was like, haha, like I've already mastered this one. I haven't mastered it yet, actually. I think my crepes are a little thin. Um, but I definitely think there's other ways to make them because theirs did taste a little different than mine, but mine were pretty good too. So we did that, the Taste of Belgium, and that was good. They have cookies that they sell. So of course, I think that was my first chocolate chip cookie buy was from the Taste of Belgium. And actually I got a snickerdoodle cookie and I ended up getting their chocolate chip cookie later because at their store the chocolate chip cookie actually didn't look that great. It looked like they'd overcooked a little bit, a little more brown than I wanted, but the snickerdoodle looked really good. So I ordered the snickerdoodle and got that. But then later on, when we went to Findlay Market, which I'll tell you guys about that in a minute, I did end up getting a cookie from the same people. But anywho, so we did that. And then let's see, is this the same day? Yeah. So then we did go to this place called the Finley Market, which is just like a farmer's market. And that ended up being fun. It was, bustling. They had like tea there. Of course, there were more cookies there of people who make their own cookies. And of course, I had to support them and buy the cookies. There, was popcorn there. There was street food. There was different kinds of food, Jamaican food, Thai food, just all kinds of stuff there. And there was like fresh meat, there was fresh vegetables and everything, which you're like, duh, Phoebe, it's a farmer's market. But it was just cool, like just to be in the middle of the downtown, and it was very colorful, and in that specific area, and just walking around that was pretty fun. So we did that. That ended up being, like I said, a fun thing to do. After that, we were a little bit tired, but we didn't want to go home yet. So then I said, you know what? Walking around made me kind of in the mood to shop. Maybe I can find me a good mall. You guys, I found me a mall. This mall was huge. Now, it was only 2 stories. But it was the space, as far as like we drove around that mall forever, and it had its own parking garage and like upper, well, I think it was just like an upper and lower level. So there was tons of parking, and it was popping, and it was busy, and it was a nice mall. Like, it looked nice. You know how malls kind of, at least where I am, seem to be going downhill. Mm-mm. This mall was everything a mall should be. A variety of stores, a variety of people. It was so diverse. And the stores, like there's like the main part, and then there's the part where I call it the bougie section. And when you crossed over into the bougie section, like you knew you crossed over. One, it got a little quieter. There wasn't as much noise. Two, you start seeing stores like Gucci, Tiffany and Co., Louis Vuitton, Rolex. Like, these are things that I've heard of, that I've seen maybe bits and pieces of, but I've never been to like their stores other than when I was like in London, right? Like, I saw those stores there, and I saw them in the airport there, but just to be in a mall, like a Louis Vuitton in a mall, a Gucci store in a mall, and not like an outlet, y'all. These weren't the outlets. These were the legit deals. I was like, oh, we in the high end area, right? But it was fun. Like, I was like, oh my goodness. Like when you go to these places, you're like, oh my gosh, they're gonna notice I don't belong. This is how I felt when I was in London. I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna notice that which one doesn't belong, and they're gonna somehow see, like, oh my goodness, she's wearing her Shein shoes and Amazon dress. But it didn't stop me from going there, okay? It didn't stop me from trying on shoes there either. But I did. We enjoyed that mall. It was so nice. And we didn't even really explore the whole mall. Like, we just did like half, and we were pretty much done. We just did a few stores, bought a few things, and that was it. Like, y'all, I'm gonna have to go back and hit up that mall again, and save up and some money and just go have fun. But speaking of that mall, so the next day, which ended up being today, for breakfast or for lunch, for brunch, we ended up going to this place called North Star Cafe, maybe, and which was in the mall, popping, y'all, on a Sunday. I was like, y'all supposed to be in church. But I was like, maybe they're vacationing like we are. But anyway, so we went to this place called North Star Cafe, and it was very good. It was so good. They had this thing called risotto pancakes, I think is what it's called, risotto pancakes. And I was like, what is that? Like, isn't that like my sister was like a cheese or something? But she's like, it's probably something they mix it in. I think it is. There were some good pancakes. They're so unique. I was like, I love my Cracker Barrel pancakes, buttermilk pancakes. Don't get me wrong, they're the best. But this, I'd probably have to say, is a runner up. It doesn't beat Cracker Barrel, not by any means, but they were good because they were unique. They didn't taste like just a regular buttermilk pancake, but they had those yummy crispy edges. They were soft, they were fluffy, they were thick. They were really good. So I was like, yummy. That was good. So that was a good choice. My mom got this big old smoothie bowl where she ate the toppings. My sister, she got the pancakes. I got the pancakes and a burrito because, yeah, go big or go home, home, right? And then that's where I also got my double chocolate chip cookie. My sister also got her a cookie, and I think so did my mom. I think we all got us one. Of course, my mom ended up getting like the oatmeal cookie. I was like, ma. But somebody's got to eat them, right? And my sister got the chocolate chip cookie and the ham and cheese scone. But we totally enjoyed that cafe place. And I do think it's a chain. So if you like have heard of one or seen one around or whatever, go ahead and stop in. It was pretty good. And you order up front, like before you sit down, you order and pay, and then they just bring it to you. So that was kind of unique. But it ended up being very good. And then after that, so that was today. Let's see, anything else that I want to say? Oh, I didn't mention. Okay, so then, y'all, I'm giving y'all restaurant recommendations. Okay, so then we went to this restaurant called the Alcove, and that was cool because it's got botanical stuff around it. It has greenery and plants and things like that. And they didn't have any seats inside, but it kind of worked out. Y'all know I'm normally not an outdoor eating person. I don't like to eat outside, even when it's nice. It's just not me. But because it was in the cool of the day, and it was shaded. And it actually felt very good outside. So it wasn't cold, but it was warm without being cold, being shaded, and there wasn't a lot of bugs. We sat outside and it was actually pretty nice. So while we were there, of course, you got to splurge, right? Anytime you're on vacation, you got to splurge. We got this lovely meat and cheese charcuterie board. My mom is like, all this charcuterie stuff. She was like, y'all, we got them platters, meat and cheese platters back in the day. I'm like, yeah. But we got this meat and cheese charcuterie board. And then I got the seared salmon, which ended up being really good, along with some Brussels sprouts, which were equally good. I think my sister and mom both got sandwiches, maybe. No, my mom got a steak, and she said it was pretty good. And then my sister got a sandwich that she said was way too big for her to eat at the time. But yeah, so we ate there. That was last night. Okay, so back to today. So we went to the North Star Cafe, and then after that, we decided to hit up. I was like, I want to go to a museum. Um, but let's hit up a unique museum. And we went to one called the American Sign Museum. And I thought it was, when I first heard of it, I was like, sign language? Like it's like American Sign Museum. But no, it was actually like signs, like signs you would see outside of something like a McDonald's sign. They had a big McDonald's sign or gas station signs and all kinds of signs. And so we did that, and it was cute. Now, and fun. It's fun because I was with my family and my sisters and my Fee, and she was looking at all the flashy lights and neon lights. So that part made it fun. Now, I would say if you can go at a discounted price, it might feel more better to be discounted because honestly, you probably only need like an hour. Um, in there, unless you go to, watch the demonstration or watch the little movies or something, you might be able to spend more time there. But it's not a very big museum. And literally, it's just all signs, but it is kind of fun to see signs from different eras. And I was like, okay, this is like a unique kind of museum that we enjoyed, and we're like, okay, good little thing for the end of our trip. So we did that. Fee enjoyed looking, like I said, at all the lights. We took pictures. I saw a sign. We saw a sign that we had to take a picture next to because it said United Pentecostal Church. I was like, that's us. How unique. Apparently, it was a sign that was given from somebody in Louisiana. I should have took a picture of the info plaque or whatever, but I didn't. But it was given from somebody from Louisiana, and it said United Pentecostal Church on it. So I thought that was pretty cool. We took a picture next to that, and yeah, that was pretty much the end of our trip. And after that, we decided to come home, and Fee once again slept the whole way home. I ate my double chocolate cookie to help me drive home, and it was pretty chill. I did miss being at my church today, but I did hear that it was a great service. We have an evangelist coming, or who came. He was here last week as well, which he did awesome then. So I knew it was gonna be good. I'll have to like go back and listen or watch or something. But I did hear it was good, even though I did miss the service. But that's been the beginning of my summer. so far. I hope your summer is off to a good start. Um, feel free to hit me up on Instagram, share with me what you're doing. I do plan to probably start doing a little more on the gram other than just posting when the episodes come out because y'all, I don't think I've even posted from last episode. But I do plan to get a little better at that. And maybe doing a little more with that. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah. So anyway, all right, y'all. That's been my last couple of weeks. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I hope your next couple of weeks go amazing as you kickstart your summer. Maybe in the next little bit, I'll be hitting up the zoo. We got family camp coming, church camps. Man, all the camps are coming. Father's Day. You guys, it's here. But yeah, that is about it. I did have one more thing I wanted to share, which was my closet clean out inspo. Basically, in a nutshell, very quickly, because I already did my like closing, is that I am very motivated. Having gone to these like fancy places, I am now being like, okay, I can't just shop at Shein and buy 20 dresses and like keep six and return the rest. And then they're only good for a season. I need some good staples, right? So part of my summer, we will see. I'm telling y'all now, so that way when I revisit this in the fall, y'all can either be like, you didn't do it. Or you can be like, good job, Phoebe. But I plan to clean out my closet, get through some stuff. Y'all, I need to clean some stuff out. Try to keep my good pieces, get rid of the things that are so comforting. Like, y'all, those comfort clothes, I don't want to get rid of them. I have some dresses that I can literally picture right now that they look good, but they're old and they're like peeling and they look terrible, but they're so comfortable and I love them. But I need to get rid of them. You can tell I'm still trying to convince myself. Anyway, you guys, thank you all so much for listening and for tuning in, and I will catch y'all in a couple weeks.